Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great and enjoying Christmas spirits. And today's recipe, what I have is of an instant wine. This wine can be made in 3 days. This is not the traditional way of making wine. The traditional way of making wine takes 21 days, and there is not much of difference between the 21-day-old wine and this one. It tastes almost the same and delicious. So you can give this recipe a try. The more you store it, the stronger it gets, and you can store this on in a dark corner or in your alcohol cabinet for years together, and this will not spoil. If you want to see how I made this instant and quick grape wine, let's watch the video. So for making the instant grape wine, what we need is, I've taken here 1 kg of black grapes. This has seeds in it, but it's okay, we're going to strain it anyways. So 1 kg of black grapes and 750 grams of sugar, and I've taken 3/4 teaspoon of active yeast. Use whatever yeast you have. You can use active dry yeast or instant yeast as well. And I've taken 1.5 liter of water. So this is what we need for making our grape wine. So for making the wine, what we're going to do is we're going to boil the grapes in sugar and water. So I've taken a steel container. Do not use aluminium or iron container for making or boiling this wine. It has to be a steel container. So here I'm taking the grapes. It's okay if there is a little water left after washing it, and I'm going to add in the water. And I'm going to cook this. Some people do go ahead and add cinnamon sticks, a few cardamoms and star anise as well, but I want to keep I don't want to have any spice or anything added to the wine. I want it to be plain, and I want to taste the grape. That's why I've not added. However, if you want to add in 10 to 12 peppercorns, 3 to 4 cardamoms, and 1 star anise and a few cloves. So that will do for this. So but I've not added anything. I want to keep it plain. This also will taste nice. So I'm going to wait and let this cook. And another thing is, I'm going to use a wooden spoon to mix our wine. Do not use any other spoon, and this spoon is only used for making wine. It cannot be used for cooking or making any curries. I'm cooking this on high flame. When the grapes are getting cooked, what I'm doing is I'm just separating 1 tablespoon of sugar, which I'm going to keep aside. I'm going to use this to bloom our yeast. So that's what I'm doing now. Keep mixing it in between. When the water starts to boil, what I'm going to do is I'm adding in the sugar. So I'm going to add in the sugar. Be careful, the water splashes. And then mix it well and wait for the grapes to cook completely. I've added 750 grams of sugar for 1 kg of grapes. If you like your wine sweeter, add in around 1 kg of sugar. But I feel the taste of the grapes should be more than the sweetness. That's why I've added only 750 grams of sugar to this. So if you want, you can go ahead and add 1 kg of sugar as well. As the grape cooks, start smashing it to the corners of the pan you're cooking it in, just to take out all the essence and the flavor from the grapes. So just start smashing the grapes against the corners. This needs to cook for a good 15 to 20 minutes for us to take out all the essence from the grapes. So just start smashing and let it cook. If you see, all the grapes have been mashed out and the essence has come into the water, and if you see the color of the water, it's dark red. If you see this color is because of the grapes. Try and use dark colored grapes to get this color, otherwise you'll get lighter colored wine. You have to wash the grapes 3 to 4 times before starting this process. So I've used the darker variety of grapes, and that's why the color is this way. Now if you see this, if you can see the texture of the grapes, they've all mashed out. And don't worry about the seeds. When we are going to pour the wine after 3 days, we are anyways going to strain this, so don't worry about the seeds. So now we're going to switch off the flame and let it cool down completely before transferring it to a glass jar and adding the yeast into it. Now the grapes that we've cooked has cooled down completely. It should not be even slightly hot because the vapor from this would then spoil the wine. So it needs to cool completely before we bottle this. So this is cooled down now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate our yeast. I've taken 1/4 cup of warm water and I'm adding in the sugar that we had separated earlier. I'm just mixing it. To this, I'm going to add in the yeast. Over here, I've used dry yeast. You can use any that you have in hand and just let it bloom. Now, if you see the yeast is bloomed, you can see the bubbles in it. You can see that? Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the yeast to our grape mixture. Okay, I'm just going to add it to that. And mix it. Now we'll take that and pour it into our glass jar which we have. This is a 3-liter jar here, and this has been washed and dried. There is no moisture in this jar. So we're going to pour it into this. That's done. So we've left around 1/4 empty space in this jar. The jar should never be full to the brim because then the wine would rise and come outside the jar. So now what I'm going to do is lightly place the lid. It should never be tight. It should always be open. Now I'm going to cover it with a cloth and then tie it loose. We do this so that those fruit flies will not enter the wine and spoil it. So that's why we tie it. And it's not tight, it's loose that we've tied. There is enough space for the moisture to get in and ferment the wine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it in a dark corner, in a cabinet or a dark corner of the house, and I'll open this tomorrow the same time. So today is day 2, and yesterday in the night what I saw was our yeast was completely puffed up and the lid was above and we had a little bit of spillage. So what I did was I removed half of it and I put it into another jar here. So I've just separated like 1/4 and put it into a different jar. So I've separated it into 2 jars. Now let's see how it is now. So today we are not doing anything much. We are just going to open it and mix it, and then we're going to close it again. So you see how they have puffed up. So mix it well. I can already smell the wine in the making, but we need to give this another day. So mix it well. And then close this, and then we're going to cover it again and tie it. So we're going to do the same thing with the second one as well. See the bubbles? It's like, if you see, it's like sparkling water. I don't know if you can see it, but here, if you see, it already looks like sparkling water. Show it close. You see this? Okay, so this one also is mixed. Now what I'm going to do is close this as well and leave it, and tomorrow we'll strain it and it will be ready to use. So today is day 3 and we're going to use the wine today. So I'm going to just open it. Then we give it a good mix. I can already smell the wine. And what we're going to do is we're going to strain it. So I've taken a colander here and I'm going to strain it. The dish into which you're straining does not have to be of glass or ceramic. You can strain it on a steel dish and then transfer it again to a glass container. So I'm going to just strain it. Just make sure that the liquid comes on its own. Do not press the residue that's in the colander or the strainer, because then you'll get you won't get a clear wine. You'll have those small textures in the wine. We don't want that. So don't press the wine or the residue in the colander or the strainer too much. Just make sure that you just shake it and the wine just drips out completely. So from here I'm going to transfer it into a glass bottle. I'll need many glass bottles because there's quite a lot of wine here. Make sure that when you're storing the wine, you do use a glass bottle or a ceramic bottle. And when you're filling the bottle, you just fill it to the 3/4 so that you give room for the wine to rise. So if you don't have glass bottles, what you can do is you can wipe the bottle in which you have set the wine with a dry cloth, and then you can store it in that. You can pour your wine in the same bottle and store it in that, and as and when you need, you can use it from there. Or if you're like me who keeps making wine, then you can store it in small bottle. As of now, I'm going to store it in the same bottle which we set the wine, because I have used up all the glass bottles what I have at the moment. So see guys, I have left enough space in the glass bottle so the wine, even if the wine puffs up, our bottle will not open. Now we can store our wine in an airtight container till we use it. The traditional process used 21 days to make wine, but this tastes similar to that because we have fermented it, boiled it and fermented it. So it tastes very similar to that. So you can try this process because you don't need to wait for 21 days to make wine. You can store this on your countertop or in a dark corner of your house. The more you store this, the more stronger the wine gets. So do try this out. So here you go guys, it's that easy to make wine. So we've done it in 3 days and this is instant wine. So do give this recipe a try. And if you do like this video, please hit the like button and do share it with your friends and do subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye bye.